They wanted me to risk my life for a family tradition. I grew up in a family that treated bloodline like religion. Big family, loud holidays, framed ancestry charts on the walls, stories about great-grandparents crossing oceans, surviving wars, continuing the line. Every gathering ended the same way, someone joking about future babies, someone reminding us that family is everything. And then there was me, the only daughter, the only child, the end and the beginning of everything they were proud of. When I found out I was pregnant, I already knew what it would mean to them before I knew what it would mean to me. My parents cried when I told them, not from fear, but joy. My mother said this was what she'd been waiting for her whole life. My father hugged me and said our name would live on. Then the doctor told me I had a condition that pregnancy would worsen fast. That my heart was already struggling. That carrying to term could kill me. Not might. Could very realistically. She said abortion was the safest medical option. I went home and tried to say the words out loud. My mother said I was panicking. My father said doctors exaggerate to protect themselves. My extended family found out within days. Aunts called. Uncles texted. Grandparents prayed. Everyone reminded me how much had been sacrificed so I could exist. They said things like, "We didn't raise you to quit. Women in our family are strong. You're all we have." One cousin said it outright. "If you do this, our family ends with you." No one said, "If you don't, you might die." Every conversation felt like a trial where my body was evidence and my future was already decided. They talked about legacy, last names, traditions. They talked about how I would be remembered. About how ashamed my ancestors would be. About how I would ruin everything they'd built. When I brought them to the appointment, the doctor repeated herself. Calm. Clinical. Charts on a screen. She asked if I felt pressured. My family answered for me. They said they would help. They said they would take the baby if something happened. They said God wouldn't let me die if I had enough faith. I realized then that they had already accepted the risk as long as it was mine. I scheduled the abortion quietly. I didn't tell them until afterward. The fallout was worse than I imagined. Some family members stopped speaking to me entirely. Others speak to me like I'm fragile glass or permanent disappointment. My mother still says I chose fear over family. My father says I took something sacred from them. What I took was my life. I still carry guilt, not because I think I was wrong, but because I was raised to believe my worth was in what I could give them. A child. A continuation. Proof that their sacrifices mattered. Sometimes I wonder if they would have forgiven me more easily if I had died trying. I am alive. I am healthy. And I am the family disappointment who refused to become a family tragedy. So tell me, was I wrong for choosing to live, even if it meant being the last of my line?